7 car brands are hemorrhaging money faster than a dealership on fire. While you've been told the auto industry is recovering in 2026, the reality is absolutely brutal. Major manufacturers are slashing prices by 20 to 40% just to clear inventory off lots. Dealerships that once had waiting lists are now practically begging customers to take test drives. The same brands that raise prices every single year for the past decade are suddenly running Black Friday sales, like desperate clearance outlets. You've been fed lies about market corrections and strategic repositioning. The truth? These companies are fighting for their survival. In this video, I'm exposing exactly which 7 brands are closest to bankruptcy, why their desperate fire sale discounts won't save them, and what this means if you're thinking about buying one of these cars right now. Stick around until the end, because number 1 isn't just struggling, company executives are saying it has just 12 months to live. Let's get into it. Number 7, Mazda. Their premium pricing gamble is backfiring spectacularly. Just 5 years ago, Mazda was the value champion, affordable, fun to drive, reliable Japanese engineering without the Toyota premium. Today, they're stuck in no man's land, too expensive for budget buyers and lacking the luxury credentials for premium shoppers. Here's the damage. Sales dropped 3.3% in 2025, December alone down 18.9%. The CX-30 crashed 41% for the year and 69% in December. The Mazda 3 sedan collapsed 58.7%. Their inventory is sitting 30% above industry average. Dealers can't move them despite good reviews. The Mazda 3, one of the oldest in its class, no refresh since 2019 and no hybrid option. Every competitor has hybrids now. The CX-30, built in Mexico, is getting hammered by 23% tariffs. Mazda is deliberately cutting production. Corporate speak for we're in trouble. Mazda bet on going upscale with higher prices and refined interiors. The problem? Korean brands offer more features and longer warranties for less money. Honda and Toyota have better reliability reputations, and luxury buyers aren't convinced by a Mazda badge. They'd rather pay more for an Audi or BMW. First half fiscal 2026, operating loss of $351 million. Tariffs will cost them $1.58 billion. Their response? Abandon affordable models and focus only on high-margin SUVs. But when you're losing money, how long can that last? Inventory is aging 4 to 6 months on dealer lots, crushing profitability. Mazda suffers from brand positioning confusion, too expensive for mainstream, not prestigious enough for luxury. They're trapped in the middle where nobody wants them. Without competitive pricing or must-have technology, they're losing relevance fast. And once you're irrelevant, no amount of marketing can save you. Number 6, Infiniti. Nissan's luxury division has completely lost its spark, and it's dragging both brands down together. Once positioned as the innovative Japanese alternative to German luxury, the brand that gave us the legendary G35 and challenged BMW head-to-head, Infiniti was about performance and value. Today, it's a discount luxury brand that nobody wants, even with massive incentives. The desperation is real, average incentives exceeding $7,500 per vehicle, the highest in the entire luxury segment. $6,000 retail bonus on the 2026 QX60. $9,000 retail bonus on the QX80. And they're killing models just to survive. The QX50 and QX55 are both discontinued after 2025. When a luxury brand starts axing its lineup, that's a death rattle. Here's what kills Infiniti. Resale value collapse. 3-year-old Infiniti models depreciate 10 to 15% more than German competitors. The Q50 loses 46% of its value in just 3 years, worse than BMW, Audi, or Mercedes. This makes leasing more expensive and total ownership costs higher, even with lower purchase prices. Buyers aren't stupid, they do the math. Technology lag. Infiniti's infotainment systems, driver assistance features, and powertrains have fallen years behind. No cutting-edge tech, no innovative features. In an era where technology defines luxury, Infiniti feels outdated and derivative. They lack BMW's performance credentials, Mercedes' tech leadership, and Audi's design consistency. They're just there. Parent company Nissan is in its own financial death spiral with junk credit ratings and bankruptcy warnings. That means zero investment in Infiniti's future. It's a vicious cycle. Aging products require bigger discounts, leading to weaker resale values, which damages brand perception, which requires even more discounts. Infiniti is essentially left with an all-SUV lineup after killing their sedans. No variety, no appeal. Infiniti suffers from luxury positioning failure. They can't justify premium pricing against established German rivals with decades of brand equity. They're too expensive to compete with Acura or Lexus. And with Nissan potentially going bankrupt within 12 months, who's going to invest in a luxury division that's already bleeding out? Infiniti is caught in an impossible middle ground, not prestigious enough to charge luxury prices, not affordable enough to compete on value. That's a death sentence. But at least Infiniti still has multiple models. Number 5 can barely call itself a brand anymore. Number 5, Buick. the brand that's literally dying with its customer base. Buick used to be a pillar of American automotive success, a brand that represented attainable luxury and middle-class aspiration. Your parents or grandparents probably drove one. Today, it's become the automotive equivalent of a retirement home. And the numbers prove it. The demographic crisis is brutal. The average Buick buyer is over 60 years old. Among car buyers under 40, Buick registers near zero consideration. Gen Z doesn't even know the brand exists. Q3 2025 sales dropped 14%. Q4 tumbled another 10.5%. The Envision crashed 60.9% in the last quarter alone. When your customer base is literally aging out, you don't have a sales problem, you have an extinction problem. Buick's entire lineup is just 4 crossovers: Encore GX, Envista, Envision, and Enclave. No sedans. No cars. No variety. The Encore and Envision haven't seen significant redesigns in years. They're technologically and aesthetically outdated compared to rapidly evolving competitors. And here's the kicker: 74% of Buick customers are new to the brand. They can't retain anyone. Buick suffers from generational disconnect. Younger buyers show minimal brand recognition or emotional connection. Marketing research reveals alarming statistics. Buyers under 40 literally don't consider Buick when shopping. Why? Because Buick stands for nothing. Attainable luxury is meaningless. No distinctive technology, no unique styling, no compelling reason to choose them over literally any competitor. General Motors is facing consolidation pressure. Buick's models overlap significantly with GMC and Chevrolet offerings. Analysts are predicting future cuts within GM's crowded SUV portfolio, and Buick occupies the most vulnerable territory. Some GM dealers have already stopped stocking new Buicks. When your own dealer network loses faith, you're finished. GM required dealers to commit to sizable EV investments, and many GMC dealers just drop Buick entirely rather than invest. Buick's North American operations appear redundant. Yes, they're huge in China, but Chinese success doesn't save United States operations. Without a clear value proposition, without appeal to buyers under 50, and without dealer support, Buick is heading toward the automotive graveyard alongside Pontiac, Oldsmobile, and Saturn. They're automotive wallpaper, present but completely unnoticed. And once you're invisible, you're already dead. At least Buick is still selling cars. Number 4 literally stopped production entirely. Number 4, Jaguar, the British luxury icon that committed brand suicide on live television. For 102 years, Jaguar represented British luxury, performance, and heritage. The leaping cat badge meant something: style, speed, elegance. They went head-to-head with BMW and Mercedes. Then in November 2024, they decided to throw all of that away with the most disastrous rebrand in automotive history. The numbers are apocalyptic. Jaguar sold just 49 cars in all of Europe in April 2025. 49. Down from 1,961 the year before. That's a 97.5% sales collapse, the steepest decline for any premium automaker in history. Year-to-date European sales down 77.8%. Global sales dropped 85% from 180,833 in 2018 to just 26,862 annually. And in the United States, only 13,210 vehicles sold in all of 2024. Here's what killed them. In November 2024, Jaguar launched their new Copy Nothing rebrand. The ad featured models in bright clothes, neon tubes, paintbrushes, and hammers, but zero cars. Not one vehicle. They removed their iconic leaping cat badge and replaced it with a plain word mark. President Trump called it stupid and seriously woke. The top social media comment with 13,000 likes said they just killed a British icon. And then they did the unthinkable. Jaguar stopped making all cars at the end of 2024. They're taking the entire year of 2025 off. No new car sales. Dealerships have zero inventory. For the first time since 1948, Jaguar showrooms are completely empty. You literally cannot buy a new Jaguar right now, even if you wanted to. Jaguar bet their entire future on going all-electric and ultra-luxury. Their first new model, the GT, is coming late 2025 or mid-2026, priced around $200,000. They're abandoning their current customer base entirely to chase ultra-wealthy EV buyers. But here's the problem. Their managing director estimates only 15% of current Jaguar buyers will return. 85% of their loyal customers are walking away. The financial damage is catastrophic. A cyber attack cost them £1.9 billion, $2.55 billion, in lost production. They required a £1.5 billion United Kingdom government bailout just to survive. Dealers have lost all revenue streams, no cars to sell, no service appointments for new vehicles. Longtime Jaguar customers feel betrayed and abandoned. Meanwhile, competitors like BMW saw EV sales up 32%, Audi up 50%, and Mercedes holding steady. Those brands didn't abandon their heritage, Jaguar did. Jaguar is gambling everything on ultra-luxury EVs in a market that's already saturated. They've alienated their core customer base, erased 102 years of brand heritage, and have nothing to sell for an entire year. British press saw the camouflaged GT prototype and called it striking, but one good-looking car won't rebuild trust. Heritage is equity that takes decades to build and seconds to destroy. Jaguar destroyed theirs, and copy nothing is exactly what they're selling, nothing. Number 3, Mitsubishi. The brand that's vanishing before our eyes and nobody's even noticing. Mitsubishi once challenged Honda and Toyota as a serious Japanese automaker. The Eclipse, the Lancer Evolution, these were iconic cars. Today, most buyers under 30 don't even know Mitsubishi still exists in America. The sales collapse is stunning. 94,754 total United States sales in 2025, down 13.7%. But here's the embarrassing part. The Toyota Corolla Cross alone outsold the entire Mitsubishi brand. One single Toyota model beat every Mitsubishi combined. The Nissan Altima, just one sedan, nearly matched all of Mitsubishi. The Mirage, their budget car, crashed 51% before being discontinued, and it was 30% of dealer business. Mitsubishi has just 3 models left: Eclipse Cross, Outlander, and Outlander PHEV. That's it. The Mirage, America's last sub-$20,000 new car, just got killed. They're down to essentially one hit, the Outlander. Everything else failed. Industry analysts call it the one-hit wonder problem. One successful model can't sustain an entire brand. The dealer network is collapsing, down to roughly 330 dealers from much higher numbers. In some states, you have to drive 100-plus miles to find a Mitsubishi dealership. That's a death sentence for service revenue and repeat customers. And here's the killer stat. When shown Mitsubishi vehicles without badges, buyers under 30 cannot identify the brand. Complete invisibility. Monthly sales often fall below 10,000 units across all models. The economics of automotive manufacturing demand scale, Mitsubishi doesn't have it. Fixed costs of maintaining United States operations may soon outweigh the benefits. Plus, they're part of the Renault-Nissan-Mitsubishi alliance, and Nissan is selling its stake in Mitsubishi to raise cash during its own bankruptcy crisis. When your parent company is dying, you're dying too. Mitsubishi is trying a Momentum 2030 plan with one new model per year and a Nissan Leaf-based EV coming summer 2026. But other automakers are struggling to sell EVs. Will this save them? You can't sell cars to people who don't know you exist. Mitsubishi isn't struggling. They're already ghosts. The question isn't if they'll exit the United States market, but when. But at least Mitsubishi is still trying. Number 2 is actively giving up on entire brands. Number 2, Stellantis, the corporate giant that's burning down Chrysler, Jeep, Fiat, and Alfa Romeo all at once. These were legendary American and European brands with decades of heritage. Chrysler built America. Jeep defined rugged freedom. Now they're all under one struggling corporation making the worst decisions possible while paying executives millions and laying off thousands. The financial devastation is staggering. $2.7 billion loss in the first half of 2025. North America shipments down 25%. Sales down 20%. Chief Executive Officer Carlos Tavares resigned in December 2024. They laid off 900 workers due to tariffs, then 1,100 more at the Toledo Jeep plant. But here's the insult. While firing workers, Stellantis paid out $2.6 billion in shareholder dividends and planned a $2.6 billion stock buyback. The former chief executive officer is getting a $25 million severance package. Chrysler is barely alive. They sell 2 vehicles, the Pacifica minivan and Voyager. That's it. A brand that once produced sedans, coupes, and crossovers now offers minivans only. And minivans represent less than 2% of the United States market. Strategic confusion is paralyzing them. Sometimes they're electric-focused, sometimes luxury, sometimes mobility services. Nobody knows what Chrysler is anymore, and brand elimination is openly being discussed. Jeep is in freefall. J.D. Power ranks them in the bottom quartile of all brands. Transmission issues, electrical problems, leaking roofs on Wranglers. Owner satisfaction declined by double digits. Grand Cherokee sales down 11%, Durango down 9%. Dealers are cutting Grand Cherokee prices 15% below MSRP, a vehicle that once commanded premiums. And they're canceling plug-in hybrid models for 2026 due to weak demand. Social media is flooded with angry Jeep owners documenting quality failures. Fiat is essentially gone, down to fewer than 100 dealerships from over 220 at their peak. The 500e electric rollout failed completely. Fewer than 30% of Americans can even identify a Fiat 500. Alfa Romeo sold just 8,865 cars in all of 2024. They're vanishing. Industry analysts say Stellantis is preparing complete United States market withdrawal for both brands. Stellantis imports more than 40% of United States sales, making them extremely vulnerable to tariffs. They canceled affordable entry-level models to push $65,000 Grand Wagoneers instead of $30,000 options. They lost touch with middle-class buyers, and their relationship with dealers is destroyed. 72% of dealers express little to no trust in Stellantis leadership. Plant shutdowns across North America. Windsor Assembly 4,500 workers. Toluca, Mexico 2,400 workers. Detroit Assembly Complex all paused. The UAW is furious. Union President Shawn Fain said Stellantis continues to play games with workers' lives. They're prioritizing Wall Street over Main Street, and it's backfiring spectacularly. Stellantis is the corporate embodiment of everything wrong with modern automakers, gutting heritage brands, laying off workers while enriching executives, raising prices while cutting quality. Chrysler might not survive. Fiat and Alfa Romeo are essentially done. Jeep's reputation is in shambles. And without American buyers' trust, no amount of financial engineering will save them. Number 1. Nissan. The Japanese giant that has 12 months before bankruptcy, according to its own executives. Nissan was once a respected Japanese automaker that rivaled Honda and Toyota. They gave us the GTR, the Z, the legendary Skyline. In 1999, Renault saved them from their first bankruptcy. Now, 26 years later, they're facing bankruptcy again, and this time, nobody's coming to rescue them. The numbers are catastrophic. $1.8 billion operating loss forecast for fiscal year 2025. Credit rating downgraded to junk status by Moody's, high insolvency risk. They slashed their profit forecast by 70%, from $3.25 billion down to just $975 million. Renault, their former savior, reduced their stake from 46% to 36%. They're jumping ship. An unnamed Nissan executive told the press the company has around a year to survive. 12 months. Nissan is in full panic mode, cutting 9,000 jobs globally, nearly one-fifth of their workforce. Chief Executive Officer Makoto Uchida is forfeiting 50% of his own pay. They're reducing global production by 20%, closing 7 factories worldwide, and selling their headquarters. They're selling nearly a third of their stake in Mitsubishi for $482 million, just to raise cash. The Smyrna, Tennessee plant employs 8,000 workers. Potential elimination could save $531 million, but destroy an entire community. Honda merger talks collapsed. Former Chief Executive Officer Carlos Ghosn called it a disguised takeover by Honda. Tesla buyout rumors debunked. Elon Musk said his factories already meet expectations. Foxconn partnership speculation, just rumors. Nobody wants to buy Nissan because nobody can fix what's broken. Here's what killed consumer trust. Nissan's problematic continuously variable transmissions. The CVTs in the Rogue, Altima, Sentra, Murano, Pathfinder, and Kicks have sparked class action lawsuits. Repair bills exceed $4,000. Nissan extended warranties on some models, but it was too little, too late. Consumer trust is gone. Brand perception is falling at twice the rate of any other mainstream automaker. Once synonymous with reliability, Nissan now means transmission failure. Dealers are in full panic. 0% financing for 60 months on the 2026 Rogue. Dealers cutting prices 20% below MSRP on brand new models. Inventory panic pricing across the board. Cities that had 6 to 7 Nissan dealerships are consolidating down to 3 to 4. Each closure represents millions in lost investment and dozens of jobs eliminated. Even their suppliers are failing. Morelli Holdings, a Tier 1 supplier, filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy and owes Nissan $313 million. When your supply chain collapses, production stops. When production stops, you die. Nissan's crisis is creating a death spiral. Quality problems destroy reputation. Bad reputation requires massive discounts. Discounts destroy profitability. Lost profits mean no money for research and development. No innovation means falling further behind. Falling behind means more discounts. And the cycle repeats until bankruptcy. The dealer network is collapsing. Service centers closing means customers can't get repairs. Can't get repairs means don't buy the car. Brand perception among new buyers is destroyed. Ironically, Nissan's latest models have actually improved in quality, but nobody trusts them anymore. The damage is irreversible. Nissan has 3 choices. Find a buyer, nobody wants them, merge with Honda, already failed, or file bankruptcy within 12 months. They've been here before. 1999's near bankruptcy led to Carlos Ghosn's controversial rescue. But Ghosn was arrested in 2018 for financial misconduct in what he calls a setup, and he escaped Japan hidden in a music equipment case. That leadership chaos still haunts them. With junk credit ratings, collapsing sales, massive losses, and zero consumer confidence, Nissan is in a death spiral. They're not struggling, they're dying. Executives know it. Investors know it. The only question left is, will they make it to 2027? So there you have it. 7 car brands going from industry leaders to bankruptcy candidates. What this really tells us is that the old rules don't work anymore. Loyalty is dead. Quality matters more than marketing. And once customers lose trust, no amount of discounting can win them back. The irony? Many of these brands still make decent cars, but they've lost the one thing that matters most, relevance. Which brand surprised you most? Drop it in the comments. Hit that like button so more people see what's really happening behind the dealership doors. And subscribe, because the automotive apocalypse is just getting started.